What's up, Internet? Welcome back to Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector. In the last couple episodes, we've been trying to track down a ship mind, and we finally have one. See, our prime ship mind. Now we're back in Flotsam, and we're going to be able to diagnose our frame. Also on the docket, Femi is going to leave and try to go after Nia if we don't do it first. So, that's something we got to get a handle on. I wonder if we should actually do that first. I wonder. Fuel, scrap, supplies. If we fill the supplies, we're just fully... I wonder if we can try to save ourselves some money. Alright, well, so we have supplies there, so that's fine. Alright, let's try to put the prime ship mind in. This shouldn't elapse days. It would probably say that if it was going to do that. Jean-Mi has promised to run diagnostics on your changing body, but needs a ship mind to house your emulation while he works. Here we go. Alright. Jean-Mi warmly smiles at the ship mind as you place it on his counter. A beautiful find, Sleeper. Come, let's get you inside. Jean-Mi swings open the creaking, corroded door beside his booth. Such a prize must have levied a heavy cost. You glance beside you to Junie, who insisted she came along, and on not letting the prime ship mind out of her sight. Your friend, too. Yes, please come in. Jean-Mi beckons and then turns back and disappears inside. Junie squints at you. Are you sure to trust this one? I don't have a choice. She sighs. I suppose not. Lead on, then. You both squeeze through the door and drift down into the workshop. You're aware of Junie's eyes wandering across the piles and piles of tech on either side, and you wonder if she recognizes anything amongst the junk. Sit, Sleeper. Jean-Mi is already at the chair arranging his array of articulated arms. And I'll take that ship mind if you please. Hand it over. You hold the ship mind in front of you and give it a small push so it floats gently over to lean to Jean-Mi. He grasps it with both hands and takes it to a neat little work table in the back you didn't see before, where thick cables float lazily, tethered to the wall. You slide into the chair, hooking your feet behind the bottom bar to hold yourself in place, and watch as Jean-Mi begins connecting up the prime ship mind. A tremble of nervousness runs along your arm. Suddenly you feel Junie's hand clasps around your own. You look over into her face. Is this okay? I want you to know I'm here. I prefer if you did. No, thanks. She nods silently. Jean-Mi, Junie calls across the room. You're going to need to talk us through exactly what you're about to do. It's funny because this game is like trying to seed doubt in all of our actions, but every person we've met, we've had some sort of doubt about, right? Like that there's some sort of dark person or they're harboring a secret. So it's good that it does that, but it also is interesting that we've grown to love people that we didn't trust to start, right? Of course. Jean-Mi is slotting an arm-thick cable into the ship mind. A little patience, please. All of this is very technical. He turns to face you both. What is your friend's name, Sleeper? Junie. Junie answers for you. And I could tell you that you're using a Stalheim-built data cradle modified to handle a prime ship mind. She rattles off at speed, which will work as long as you manage the data flow through the polymer-clad overflow cable looped into the asynchronous cortex cache. Yes. Jean-Mi eyes her, a small smile crossing his lips. As I said, technical. What will happen to me? Jean-Mi refocuses on you. It depends, he says while preparing the far end of that thick cable. What are you referring to as me? The problem we have is with your frame, your body. Atypical alterations, biosynthetic recoding, unusual growth. Jean-Mi shakes his head. From the diagrammatics I have, these are not typical of frames, even those that have been rebooted as you have. In order to investigate safely, I must transplant your emulation. In basic terms, your mind. But in reality, not so basic. He smiles in an attempt at reassurance. Your emulation is an emulation of a human, and a human mind cannot be separated from its sensorium. The mind and body paradigm has been long disproved. Cognition has physical basis. So, I must first distribute the emulation between your hardware and the prime ship mind. The hardware will co-run the emulation like the two lobes of a brain. He puts his hand together as if in prayer, and then slowly separates them. The motion makes you feel sick. Then, for a short period, I will disconnect the two. In those moments, you will, in a sense, be in two places at once, though each lobe will be partial. Too long in this state and the two partial emulations would decay. but each disconnect will allow me a short period of full access to your entire frame and its base system language. I hope this is understandable. Jean-Mi gives you a serious look. One of the most curiously human aspects of sleeper experience is that you too do not inherently understand or conceive of the systems that allow your existence. What are the risks? Jean-Mi pauses, considering his words. The risks are many and severe. Emulation collapse is chief among them. This would be terminal. But counter to this, I do not believe the changes to your frame are in a positive direction. Jean-Mi claps his hands. The greatest risk is to do nothing. We have little choice but to proceed. Now, before I connect to your frame, let us activate the ship mind. Jean-Mi gestures to Junie. Please, if you would like to come with me and oversee this process, I would be pleased. Junie shoots you a reassuring glance and then glides over to the ship mind, obscuring your view of it. You hear a quiet conversation between the two of them, their silhouettes lit by the flickering screen light of scrolling lines of code. You take a calming breath, but are instantly aware of how superfluous that action is when your frame requires no oxygen at all to function. There's a certain sensation that accompanies such thoughts, a jarring disconnection, like when descending a staircase your foot expects a step and finds a void instead. You try to calm the growing anxiety as Junie and Jean-Mi assess the mind. The ship mind is pristine. Junie turns back and drifts towards you. Our care in its extraction seems to have paid off. Junie smiles. This is good news. Junie is indeed right. You have done well. Jean-Mi approaches. I am, however, seeing the only minor traces of the protocol that the ship mind was designed to house, the one that ran the ship it was installed in. I would expect to see it in full. He ankles his head and lifts his shoulders in a slow shrug, but protocols are not easy to track. In the end, it only saves us the step of extracting it from the mind. Instead, I simply wipe the traces. Jean-Mi stops beside you. A protocol, Jean-Mi adds, is not like an emulation, like your emulation. It has no integral physical element. It is data only, and therefore could be anywhere in that ship. In the end, its absence does not concern me. It concerns me. I understand, Sleeper, but it is remarkable we have the ship mind at all. This is our opportunity. Jean-Mi lifts the far end of the thick cable you saw earlier. You know this is the end that will connect to the port on the back of your head. Junie settles beside you again. She gives you a silent look. It's time. You turn to one side to allow access to the port, your eyes fixed on the far wall. You see something among the piled tech that you haven't noticed before, a small metal skull-like head, that of a doll. You frown, trying to focus on the head, and then the cable connects. You are split like a cell dividing, wrenched in two directions at once. The world goes dark, and the cloud rushes in to fill the gap at your center. Where am I? You ask a question in your mind, and you feel it travel across the gap as it forms, like a finger drawn across your scalp from ear to ear. But not scalp. You have no scalp, no head. You're stretched out like the skin of a drum, looped like the string of a noose. The smallest vibration echoes across yourself like a ripple across a puddle. And then you feel it, a strong pulse, like a heartbeat, like thunder, like footsteps, a flickering. Oh. A trembling. A thought coming into being. The thought flickers in front of you, and you recognize that it is not your own. Assist, offer help. Disintegrate, the thought answers. You fold up in blankness. Then, a moment after you unfold like waking. Partition, to divide. Dwelling, indwell, the thought answers. You stretch into infinitude. Then, a moment after, you contract like waking. Instill, inspire. In spirit, to haunt inside. Substitute, substrate, the thought answers. Then it approaches. Then it enters. Then it is yours. You split. Then the moment after you reform, like waking. And in the cracks that seal up, for a moment in those cracks, something glows. Sleeper, I'm here. Your eyes flick open, like shutters. Junie's face is close, her eyes wide. They're awake, she calls over your head. She looks back at you. Easy now, take it slow. You twist, floating, turning your head as if you were underwater, feeling the resistance of a body you had already forgotten. How long has it been? You feel a weight you haven't felt in... You're okay, Sleeper. Tell us you're there. Junie leads in close. I'm okay. Junie smiles. They're okay. She calls to Jean-Mi. I'm glad to hear that. You hear Jean-Mi's focus and he comes into focus. You hear John Mee's voice and he comes into focus. The process was successful. John Mee floats beside the chair, his hands clasped in a business-like fashion. I was able to access the frame directly, without your emulation being present. I ran the administrator-level diagnostic processes built into its system and received the results. He takes a moment to gather himself. Your frame is indeed changing. The protein chains that code your biosynthetic organ group's cell replacement has been altered. To put it simply, your body is following a new set of instructions. Didn't the reboot do that? No. The reboot and recoding you underwent simply stopped those protein chains from artificially decaying, breaking your dependence on stabilizer. This process, the entire replacement of your protein chains, could only have been achieved over multiple doses of a specialized substance as part of a carefully planned process of total substitution. The word sticks in your mind. Substitution. You say it without thinking. Yes. John Mee reacts as if you were speaking to him. I believe it could only have been achieved with one substance as the carrier. Stabilizer. Stabilizer. The drug SNARP designed to make you dependent on them. The drug Lane fed you to keep you alive. The drug you thought you had escaped. My stabilizer was laced with something? That's what I believe. John Mee looks apologetic. This kind of process... John Mee hesitates now, and you realize the bad news is yet to come. Performed over many, many doses. Carefully planned and designed. I cannot think of a way it could be reversed. John Mee looks down. I could say that you're changing. I could tell you how it was achieved, but I can neither stop it nor tell you its ultimate end. I'm sorry. I understand. I'm sorry, Sleeper. Junie struggles to find words. Perhaps we could find someone else, or try again? You don't feel able to respond. You quietly push yourself away from the chair, your thoughts slow to cohere. You glide back to the door and then out into the flow of flotsam, the noise and activity passing by you like smoke. In the haze, you find that word again, substitute, and begin to wonder what exactly it is that you are becoming. Whoa. Cool, okay, we got more upgrade points. Seraphin once more finds you in your bunk. He gently prods you with questions, and you quickly relent. You explain what John Mee said about your suspicions regarding Lane and your confusion as to his motivation. You tell him you don't know what this will mean for you in the future. He listens, and when he is not done listening, you both sit and wait for the moment to pass. And then you leave the rig, each on your own errands, each knowing that the only option is to keep going until you're forced to stop. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting so much of a just open answer there, I guess. Okay, well that's that drive complete, though. We did assess the damage, and the damage is very permanent and, in fact, gradually getting worse. Okay, so I have now 5 points. I feel like I should really just be upgrading. I feel like I use Intuit a ton. I'm just gonna do it. Cool. Okay, so now I have plus on 3 of the stats, which is great. Still the same day, which is amazing. I want to try to make money so I can get some more supplies. Flotsam integration. Flotsam needs constant work to keep it sealed and safe. The integrators are volunteers and can always use some help. Cool, so those are normal jobs. These are also... Okay, so yeah, the only work stuff is here. So let's try to use as much of this as we can. We'll buy some supplies and then we'll head out. Ooh, we got some scrap. Okay. Cool. Okay, more scrap. I'll take scrap actually because that's helpful. We can buy things with this. Yeah, let's see. I don't think there's anything that dangerous. Okay, just energy, which is fine. Okay, so we have 3 pieces of scrap now. I wonder, can we do anything with that? Maybe not here, but we might be able to. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing up is to go onto this this expedition, get some money, and then once we do that, we can travel to the next station, which really should be Greenbelt. Actually, we could go to the scatter yards. Ooh, I forgot that that was an option. Because Greenbelt isn't really the hollow, which is the down here. Scatter yards. Yeah, scatter yards has to be our next spot. So this actually works out. So we could go straight, direct line. We just need enough fuel, which we'll be able to get pretty easily, I feel like. Okay, so before we leave, let's get our supplies from wherever those are. I don't know why I can never... this station especially, I don't know why I can never figure out. Okay. Max supplies, done. And now let's go to map. And I am good on stress. I'm probably going to break a dice if I had to guess in this, but I have the parts to fix it, which is fine. Alright. Let's do it. Femi's in. He's got the same skills that Eugene has. And I think we need to take Bliss because, again, we have the skills that Junie has. I feel like Junie will never be on unless we need to use her. Alright, let's try it. This is our core crew anyway. I feel like Bliss is, like, not really optional, right? Maybe they are, but I don't feel like that's possible. What the hell is happening out there? Femi is up and out of his seat the moment Seraphin brings the rig to rest near the asteroid known as Cutter's End. That ominous name is one whose origin has become increasingly obvious as you approach through thick clouds of debris and chunks of rock, among which corroded remains of wrecks could be seen floating. Now, as you look out on the splintered and terraced rock, you can't help but feel a slowly growing sense of dread. Look, there. Femi comes close to the cockpit glass and points to the terraced quarry cut into the rock. The mine's awake. You look out and see the flickering lights, the glowing dock markers. Femi shakes his head. That's not right. Neither is that. Seraphin nods towards the asteroid, and you see a ship now, tucked into the shadow of the rock, flashing its signal lights at you. I'm guessing that's the crew we're looking for. Visitors, huh? The voice wavers weakly as it comes through the ship's comms. Are you lot friendly? Seraphin glances back at you, raising his eyebrows. It isn't long before you and Femi are suiting up, an agreement having been made between Seraphin and the pilot of the other ship, a man called Beard, to meet in the neutral ground of the open space. Femi is silent, his anger evident in the way he forces his legs into the trousers of his suit. And then you're out, the vast shape of Cutter's End flickering with strange lights below you, and the pinpricks of the pilot's suit lights slowly coming closer ahead. Ooh. This guy looks evil. You two are a sight for sore eyes. You see a crooked grin from Bard, framed in the hard lines of his ramshackle spacesuit. What brings you to the arsehole of Starward Belt? His sharp eyes scan you and Femi, checking your suits and gear. What happened here? Bard's eyes flick to you, and you notice a familiar reaction across his face, the acknowledgement that he recognizes you as a sleeper. You came all the way out here to ask a question like that. Bard glances between the two of you and then smiles his crooked smile. Are you two detectives or something? I could be. You brought a freelancer out here. Femi interrupts, his voice flat and direct over the comms channel. Nia, where is she? Bard pauses, considering his answer. Whole crew is down the throat of that thing. He jerks a thumb towards the asteroid. You're welcome to wait. The tone of his voice suggests the opposite. But all of you know we look after our crew, so if you're here to settle a debt, I'm here to take her home. Femi cuts him off, and I'm not waiting. The thing is, big man, they're deep in the quarry on a tip-off, so unless you want to go chasing them around the dark maze of that place, you're shit out of luck. How long have they been? Bard looks over at the flickering quarry as if he forgot it was there. He looks back to you. A few cycles? He shrugs. Enough. Femi cuts in again. Nia's been gone for a lot longer than that. You're lying to our faces. Femi moves closer to Bard, and we know that rock has claimed more crews than any other. Bard's smile faces. Well, hello. Bard's smile fades. No need for accusations. Who's to say you aren't trying to jump our claim? Forget this. Femi turns and heads back towards the ship. Bard smiles at you. Big man seems techy. Tetchy? Ooh, I've never seen that word. He squints at the rig. He's gonna get you in trouble. Bard retreats to his ship, and you to yours. We need to go in. Femi is impatiently gathering tools, loading them into the airlock, right now. What's our approach? What matters is our ingress. Femi grabs a cutting torch from the rack. There's a borehole on this side of the rock. Could get us in under the radar, or we dive right down in the main shaft. Femi meets your eyes. I'll leave this call to you. Bliss arrives at the airlock and stares at Femi's angry tool gathering. Let's keep cool heads. They glance at you. That rock looks dangerous enough, even when you're thinking straight. Femi ignores them. You get ready to depart, well aware that you're heading into a situation you don't quite understand. Oy. Okay. So this seems like an either-or situation. Okay. So, rather than removing the massive rocks, cutting a sheer-sided passage through might make for faster progress. The chunks of debris that have collapsed inward, blocking the shaft, need to be removed to gain access. The central mine shaft looks to have collapsed in on itself. Entry via this route will not be simple. Okay. Or, the hole that already exists. This dark borehole cuts deep into the body of the asteroid. Where it leads is unclear, so careful exploration is advised. With careful scans and sensor arrays, this borehole can be mapped, allowing you to plot a path into the interior. This borehole starts even-sided, but quickly bends and worms into the rock at strange angles. Navigation will be slow. So there's not a great option here. Everything is danger. Every single one is danger. Bliss is not helping me right now. I feel like we should probably go the safer route. There isn't a stress meter on this job, though, which is good. This one has more pips. So I'm going to ignore that one for now, I think, if we can. Let's just try to go for it. Cool. The borehole stretches into the rock, narrowing and turning. It leads you even deeper. Let's use the plus on these two. That's stress. Okay, we're halfway there. That's great. Let's use the 5 here. Cool. Now, I feel like the only negative effect that I can have with their dice is their own personal stress. So I'm actually okay with letting that rock. Yep, okay, that's fine. We're almost there. Let's just see. Do I trust Bliss to do anything here? Not really, but might as well just try it. Alright, well, we made some progress, so that's not nothing. And actually, technically, I can use my 2 and punch up, but do I want to do that? Because then I'm starting to incur stress. I feel like let's not do that, because I'm going to start damaging dice and then I won't have enough dice to operate with. So let's play it really safe. We have enough supplies. We're going to get paid at the end of this. I think we'll be okay. Let us end the cycle. Yes. Holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? Ones for 6 of my dice, and then I have a glitched. I've never seen that. Even the whole time I played Citizen Sleeper 1, never seen a full... That's the worst luck ever. I mean, I guess it's got to happen at some point, but holy shit, are you kidding? Alright, well, let's finalize this one. Cool. The dark borehole cuts deep into the body of the asteroid. There's a path through the borehole into the complex tunnels which run through the asteroid. You felt the rumbling growing as you descended into Cutter's End, but no one has wanted to bring attention to it. Now, floating in a cavernous rock-walled passage, it is impossible to ignore. There's something out there. Bliss's voice crackles over the comms. Something moving. You squint down the tunnel beyond the limits of your suit's lights. You swear you see something flicker there in the unseen passages beyond. There's a strangeness to the mine, to its flashing lights and empty conveyors, running on some residual power. From what Femi has told you, it wasn't always like this. Cutter's End has a fearsome reputation as a dark and deadly maze, a ripped-open rock not worth the trouble of the corroded salvage. Now it's a moving maze, its automated system given a new faltering life, brought back from hundreds of cycles in the shadows, and one of those systems is rumbling through the dark ahead. Let's keep it moving. Femi passes you in the passage. We don't need to wait. Take it slow, Femi. We're too far behind. We need to catch up. Femi glides ahead, the beams of his suit lights painting the rock walls of the cavern a pale gray. Femi's lights reveal an intersection, another tunnel cutting across this one, offering 3 routes ahead. Suddenly, you're blinded by a wall of light beyond the intersection. The rumble is everywhere, shaking dust and rock off the walls in dense clouds. Squinting into the light, you see a ring of lamps, and between them, the grinding maw of some terrible machine. It bears down on the crew, grinding through debris. Well, let's do this. Nice. Oh, and negative stress! You shield your eyes and scan the walls around you. There, revealed in the powerful lamps of the mining machine, you see a small square passage cut into the rock. Signaling the others, you dodge inside, gliding into the safety of the dark passage. A moment later, the machine rumbles past the entrance, splitting a hail of debris into the tunnel. You don't stop. Carried forward by the tide of rock, you emerge into another cavern. You good? Femi's voice is broken up by gasps of air. You turn to see him staring into the dark, shaking his head. What the hell was that thing? Bliss's breathing matches Femi's. It tried to eat us. We need to keep going. Femi is dusting off his suit. That mining machine must be keeping Nia's crew down here. We have to get past it. Keeping them down here, or your mind drifts to the worst option. Can any crew really hope to survive all this? When they woke up this place, they woke up that machine. Femi starts to move down the passage. It's running on old programming. It's not hunting us. It's not smart. Femi turns back to face you. His eyes ringed with fatigue and stress. We can beat it. You hope he's right. Okay, so yeah, it was one or the other, which is great. So now we only have one objective, and it's here. The dark and twisty tunnels rumble with the vibrations of active mining. This place is a death trap. As a machine rumbles away in the dark, hunting you, you can choose to fight back and force your way through, or the machine rumbles through the tunnels with blinding lights. Avoiding crossing its path would keep you safe. Cool. Okay, with our ones, I think we have to leave it here on this episode. We will finish this contract in the next one and hopefully find Nia without incurring too much stress. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are really enjoying this, and a lot more to come. We'll see you on the next episode.